Hey, today I'm starting an experiment to see theoretically uh, if I gave China, a team that nobody considers a football nation, a bump in their youth and their youth development at a lot of their clubs, how long would it take them to potentially win the World Cup or move high enough to be considered a contender? So the experiment started at the regular starting preseason for the 21 season in England. And what I did was I went and boosted China youth rating from around 60 and bumped it up to 200. I increased their country's reputation in terms of soccer, but I didn't change them from a developing nation. I left it as that. And then I went through probably the top 8 or 9 Chinese Super League clubs and increased their youth recruitment and youth training facilities um, to give them a little bump like that. And then what I've done is I've skipped ahead, and now it's the year 2035, and I'm going to take you through what that looked like in terms of how they progressed over the years, and we'll start having a look at what impact that they may have had on the development of football in that country and that region. Um, yeah, so at the start, obviously, they had the players that they had, so there was no immediate impact, um, which wouldn't be expected for a few years anyway, because they need their youth recruitment to actually produce new regens. Um, so the end of 2019 is unchanged. 2020, in their Asian qualifying sections, they won more games than they lost. They only lost to Saudi Arabia, they lost to Japan, but they beat Australia and the UAE and North Korea. It's just skipping ahead. In 2021, they lost to Australia. They lost more than they won. Um, beat Iran, beat UAE, lost to Peru in a friendly, pretty convincingly. Um, beat Paraguay, which is not too bad. And they did turn it around and beat Japan this time. They lost to Ireland as well. So let's just skip to the following year. Disastrous 2022, but obviously still at this point they're not going to have any wonder kids. Um, 2023, they didn't do too badly. Um, they did okay in the World Cup qualifiers, the second round, Group One. Um, they got knocked out in the Asian Cup quarterfinals to South Korea in 2024. They did not lose an international game, um, but they didn't play any European or South American teams. Um, but yeah, they got to the final stage of their group for the World Cup qualifiers for the Asian. And in 2025, um, that winning form mostly continued, or the non-losing form. They only lost one game against Uruguay, um, drew in against Sweden and Turkey, which weren't too bad results actually, and drew against Mexico too. So jumping ahead, they beat Wales in a friendly, lost to Scotland, got flogged by France. Um, so in the World Cup Group F, they beat Switzerland. They drew with Brazil. That's pretty good. Senegal, they beat. They lost to Turkey. Couple of friendly losses, couple of friendly wins. Paraguay, Iran. Um, if we move to 2027, they won the Asian Cup final. Um, did pretty good in the World Cup qualifiers again. Didn't lose in 2028 in the World Cup. They didn't lose again in all their qualifiers and all their friendlies in the East Asian Cup. Coming to the actual World Cup, they came third. World Cup third place playoff, and they won that against Holland. Wow. They beat Brazil in the World Cup. They beat England, Haiti, Sweden, Colombia, lost to Belgium. Pretty expected. It's going to be interesting looking at their World Cup form. We'll jump to that in a moment. Yeah, the winning form sort of continued as the years went on. Not losing too many. Some whole calendar years not losing at all. Uh, flogging North Korea 7-0. Yeah, that's probably expected. Um, some more friendlies, losing to France in a friendly, but doing pretty good otherwise. 2034 World Cup year, they made it to the semi-final and lost in the final against Brazil. Lost in the final. Obviously, the golden generation is actually working out. 2035, we're only losing a couple. The Asian Cup, they won the Asian Cup final again. And that takes us to the end of that. So if we just actually look at the World Cup and see how they actually did on that. All right, mate, what's up? So how did this play out? Let's look at the stages. Matches. Okay. So they only lost 1-0 in the final. That's pretty damn respectable. Um, England won the third place playoff. I think that is. Trying to beat Wales to get into the final. Trying to beat France 3-1. Um, Australia got pretty far, which is good. Um, winning on penalties against Chile. It's not too bad. Let's have a look at the 2034 World Cup. Oh, sorry, that's why I got it mistaken. It's the let's look at the 2030 World Cup. Okay, so it's Portugal, Spain, China in the third place. They beat Holland. They lost to Portugal to get into the final. Yep. Beat Brazil, which is pretty good. Beat Senegal. I think they had a pretty good pool run actually. That's probably why they got so far. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the players China has to see why. So I've got the hidden values turned on, so we can just sort of see that the kind of players that they've got development wise. Um, so previously, at the start, they they barely had players that were over 100 in potential rating and current rating. Um, Now they've got quite a few, and they've got quite a few players with really high potential and world reputation. Um, Most of them are all playing at Chinese clubs. Yeah, they're playing Chinese clubs. If we look at the lower divisions, um, got someone playing in Germany. Got a player at Everton, but they've got a good sort of crop of players coming through. What does their under 21s look like? Um, yeah, just into triple digits. But everybody's playing in China. If we go to the under 21s, how does that look? Yeah, a couple of good prospects that are young. Um, and if we look at their under 19s, yeah, there's a lot of decent up and coming players. Um, okay, so if we look at the history and we look at the world rankings, we can see sort of how that went. So at the start, they were 43rd, and I mean, they had a big drop off, had a huge drop off, and then the youth kicked in, and then they shot up to 30th, and then a bit of a drop off again. Um, Probably waiting for the next batch players, and then they shot up again, all the way up until their current ranking of 7th, which is pretty good. Um, let's see what we've got. Best 11. What does that look like? 113 appearances for their best. This guy, their best player, 65 goals. He's still playing. 65 goals. Hello. Yes. Yes. Perfect. That's okay. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yes. Ashfield. Yeah. first of Feb look like? Yeah, I'm just Now I've come back to my computer. Let me just note this down. I mean, I'll have to take it, right? Because it's the earliest you can give it. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, if you send it along the mail, yeah. Mm. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, because my wife works from home on Friday, so that's easier. No, no, first time. Thank you very much. Appreciate your call. Bye bye. Hello. So they called me up to book in the sleep study thing. Yeah, so you need to come home early or on time on Thursday. So I have to be at the place at Ashfield at 7:30 evening. No, 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 next week. Next week, right? So I'm just telling you so you can black out your calendar in the afternoon because like you need to be home well, I mean in theory I could go there and then you could just arrive and pick me up. That could work too. Actually, that could work too. Maybe I'll just go there and you meet you, and then you meet me there to pick me up. So it's so that my appointment's 7:30 and they say it takes 45 minutes to do the thing to like. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, what do you want for dinner? No idea. You sure you got no idea? Zero ideas. Oh, barbecue. um I got nothing. I got nothing. Also the loan manager called as well. Everybody calling me at the same time, all while I'm trying to record these videos, right? Anyway, he told me that the paperwork's delayed. We're in the queue and it's busy because everybody's going crazy to get their loans, blah blah blah, whatever. But then he said that something went wrong with ours, like I don't know, printing or processing or something. But like, and it just like got ignored or something, and it like no alerts got raised to say, oh, someone needs to fix this or whatever. So he's escalated it to get it sorted. I don't know. Anyway, so he said hopefully in a couple of days he'll have it. Um, Anywho, okay. All right, sweetie. Bye bye. Dude, toast, 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 toast. So Wang, I don't know. I can't even pronounce that. This guy's worth 50 million. He's still playing, 29. Um, he's how does his career look? Let's see what kind of milestones he's had. Oh wow, loads of wins, all starting in 2023. Made his debut. So he could have been a regen based in this process with the way he's gone. Sort of makes sense. Looks like did he just start at the same club and never leave? Yeah, it looks like he just stayed at Beijing forever. That's quite interesting. Um, so if we look at their transfer histories um, for the Chinese players, let's go all the way back to, oh wow. We start with 2020 in December. We move into January 2021. Um, we see actually a lot of movement on players actually heading towards China. Huge amount of players. We've got Luke Shaw, got Jerome Boga, Jorginho, John Stones. I think this is a byproduct of the fact that I bumped up their reputation. I also actually made one of the spoken languages as English as well to see what would happen. Oh, they got Alfonso Davis and Hector Herrera, Shaqiri, Alonso Marcus, Rudiger. They bought a lot of players, um, and in February that continued as well. Serge Aurier, McTominay, Kieran Trippier. Yeah, they bought in a lot of players. And it drops off, obviously. Let's head on to the July transfer window. Donny van der Beek left United. Fernando Torres, Nathan Aki. Wow. Sid Kolasinac, Danny Ceballos, Davidson Sanchez. Big money being spent to get these players in. Kieran Tierney. Oh, Kieran Tierney left Shanghai Shenhua to go to Manchester City. Some more big transfers. Emerson, 50 million. Pereira. Some huge transfers in. And the spending continues every transfer window. A few of them are players leaving China to head back to European teams, but there's still quite a lot of traffic heading towards China. Hmm. So let's go look at the world player list and see if any of the players from China actually are in the top players list. See if any of these Turkish. So this is in the current 2035 year. Um, no one stands out, which is interesting. Let's go have a look at award winners. So although China did pretty well, nobody appears to be up in anywhere in the awards of best players, and it's your typical who's who list from the Premier League, and Haaland getting up there, and your Mbappe. Um, yep. So although they were wonder kids, none of the Chinese really voted up high. Let's see these biggest transfer fees. Um, none of the top transfer fees. This is the biggest one heading towards China. Let's see if we can find big ones leaving China, if there are any really big ones. It's pretty far down on the list actually to find anyone from China. This is the biggest one. Oh, it's not even leaving to go to Europe. It's just into China, which is very interesting. What's the biggest one leaving China to go to a European club? Mm, still haven't found any yet. Nope. Ah, okay. So this is going to be the biggest one to Hertha Berlin. Ah, okay. And he was French who played for a Chinese club. That's very interesting. Hmm. Um, yeah, so as you can see, a big boost only got China up to seventh. None of the players won any global awards, and none of them were best player. So anyway, thanks for watching.